Hey everybody, welcome back to an episode of the 3 Count Super. I'm War Machine MJ, the face of the 3 Count Mafia. And I'm here today to talk about Friday night Smackdown of the 15th and the 22nd of November. Basically the last two shows before Survivor Series. Anyway, yeah, not really the best really the best episodes of Smackdown. Yeah, no, not too good. But yeah, something I forgot to mention in the 3 Count Super edition of NXT UK, well NXT and UK, was that last week the no, Monday, Tuesday, yeah the 20th edition, the November 20th edition of NXT actually beat out the AEW rankings by a thin margin, but they finally got a victory. Of course, it was that big 3-brand brawl on NXT to close out the show. Anyway, back to SmackDown. You know it's a bad show when they have to kick it off with Baron Corbin insulting everyone's intelligence yet again. I'm not going to go too detail of this, but basically, yeah, he's in this thing with Roman Reigns. Apparently, he's all butthurt because he's not the team captain of Team SmackDown. So he brought out a mascot in a giant dog suit. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. I had missed this because I had woke up late. Yeah. Anyway, that led into the next match. It was Mustafa Ali and Shorty G, of course, Chad Gable, of Team SmackDown. Almost said Team Roman. Anyway, Team SmackDown. They took on Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, who are essentially Baron Corbin's court. And of course, Roman Reigns was at ringside. He helped eliminate the factor that was Baron Corbin. But in the end, however, Mustafa Ali and Shorty G got the victory. So yeah. Next was Braun Strowman tearing apart the B Team and Drew Gulak. It's a shame that he's beating up on Drew Gulak. But then again, Drew Gulak is pretty much gold on the mic. So as long as they at least give him 5 minutes on the mic, we're good. Next was the New Day challenging the Revival for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Yet again, another fantastic match. However, it was cut short as the Undisputed Era decided to ruin the occasion. And of course, it took the SmackDown locker room to chase off the Undisputed Era. Next, speaking of heavy machinery, they wound up taking on some jobbers named Kevin Tibbs and Kip Stevens. And of course, they beat him. No surprise there. Next was going to be Bayley taking on Sasha Banks. I'm sorry, Nikki Cross taking on Bayley. I'm tired. I need to sleep. Anyway, Nikki Cross taking on Bayley, and if Nikki Cross got the win, she would be on Team SmackDown. Yeah, this was a fun enough match. Of course, Nikki Cross went outside, beat up on Sasha Banks, and returned her attention to Bayley. This one, however, This one, however, busted down as Shayna Baszler made her presence known in the match, which prompted Becky to run off and chase her when she was intercepted by NXT's Rhea Ripley, Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, and Dakota Kai. And the SmackDown Women's Division helped even the odds. And then when we came back from commercial, it was an 8-woman tag team match as Sasha Banks, Nikki Cross, Carmella, and Dana Brooke, all of SmackDown, took on Rhea Ripley, Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, and Dakota Kai of NXT. And of course, the SmackDown women got the victory. And finally, in the main event, we had Miz TV. Yeah, we had Miz TV with Daniel Bryan. Sorry, there was at least 2 Daniel Bryan segments on both episodes of SmackDown. Anyway, we started the show. We started the segment off with the Miz asking a buttload of questions at Daniel Bryan. Trying to figure out where his head's at in all this Bray Wyatt situation. And of course, Daniel Bryan was just giving the cold shoulder the whole time. And when Miz finally asked him, "Why aren't you saying anything?" Daniel Bryan just responds with, and best response ever, "I'm not saying anything because Miz TV sucks." And of course, the Miz just kind of laid into Daniel Bryan. Just kind of retouching up on the fact that these two just absolutely cannot stand each other. Of course, this whole shenanigans was interrupted by, of course, the current Universal Champion Bray Wyatt making his first appearance with that red gaudy piece of debris. And when he popped up, he said, "Wait a minute, something's not right," and turned around. Well, it was another episode of Firefly Funhouse, but yeah, he popped up, said something's not right. He spun around and he became a magician. Top hat, cape, cane, top hat, wand, cape, everything. He turned the Universal Championship blue. And I like it. I'm starting to come around to it because blue was very calming and it's a very relaxing color, while red is just harsh and intense. Anyway, then Bray says, well, the reason why the Fiend attacked you is, well, maybe he's doing it to scare you. Or maybe he just wants to remind you of what you've done. Of course, referencing when Daniel Bryan flirted with joining the Wyatt family and then turning on Bray Wyatt. And then Bray then invited Daniel Bryan to come play at his playhouse. And of course, he rummages through his toy box and starts throwing stuff around. He even grabs a hacksaw, says, "Why is this in here?" and just chucks it. I lost it when he did that. But yeah, he pulls out his Universal title, says, "This is my favorite toy. Why don't you come to the Playhouse and let's play?" Daniel Bryan's like, "Nope, we're going to do this on my terms, which is in the ring. Put that Universal Championship up, dude." And basically Bray was trying to goat Daniel Bryan into doing the yes. Even had the puppet saying yes. And then Daniel Bryan said, "Well, what about my offer? Where do you stand with it?" And then we close out the show with Bray Wyatt just yelling, "Yes, Yes, even doing the motions too. So yeah, they made it official. It was Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan at Survivor Series. Of course, this was recorded after Survivor Series, and no spoilers. Next up, we had the. Well, next we're going to take a look at the 22nd edition of Friday Night SmackDown. We kicked off the show with. Well, it started out with a team captains meetings of sorts, as Baron Corbin tried to address the SmackDown locker room, but nobody didn't even care what he had to say. Of course, it took Roman Reigns stepping up and saying, "Nobody likes you. Nobody cares what you got to say." Of course, most of the locker room just snapped to attention when Roman Reigns entered the room. And of course, Sasha gave the same kind of speech to her ladies, which, actually, to be honest, I didn't watch this segment too because I woke up late. But yeah, this led into a triple threat match between Sasha Banks of SmackDown, Charlotte of Raw, and of course Rhea Ripley of NXT. This was a fantastic match. However, in the end, Rhea Ripley put away Charlotte, and afterwards, Rhea Ripley was an afterthought because Flair and Banks were just beating the tar out of each other. Next, we had an 8-man tag team. Oh, I'm sorry. Next, we had Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura unveiling the new Intercontinental Championship, which it looks alright. Like me and Rodimus were talking off camera, you basically got to walk up close just to see what kind of title that was. Of course, Sami Zayn and Shinsuke were driven off by the Undisputed Era, who were looking for a fight, and they got one in the form of the New Day and the Heavy Machinery in an 8-man tag team match. Of course, the Undisputed Era got the victory. Afterwards, we just had a mid-card beatdown as Shinsuke Nakamura and Roderick Strong were locked eyes and started jaw-jacking at each other. AJ Styles just comes out of nowhere and takes out Shinsuke Nakamura with a flying forearm. Not really a phenomenal one, but just like an out of nowhere forearm. Of course, old Roddy and Styles were going at it when Sami Zayn started walloping both of them with a chair as the two of them made their escape. Come back from commercial, and the OC are ready to pick a fight. Oh, wait, did they pick a fight with somebody? My memory's kind of fuzzy. I think they just stood beside the ramp and just started jaw-jacking. Next, we had Daniel Bryan going to the ring to summon the Fiend. So, yeah, Daniel Bryan was doing his best to call out the Fiend. The lights flickered, and then after a couple of minutes, we got The Miz. Of course, yeah, The Miz got in there and just threw just a whole lot of flack at Daniel Bryan, even slapping him in the face, which led to these two going at it in an official capacity. Down the stretch, Daniel Bryan got The Miz queued up in the corner, was going to take him out, and the lights flickered. The Miz was gone, but instead replaced by The Fiend, who choked out Daniel Bryan with the mandible claw. Next, we had Bayley go into the ring, basically saying she's not afraid of Shayna or Becky, and she's mad at the fact that she's an afterthought in the between the two of them. Of course, Karen got all of the smoke as Shayna Baszler got in there and just tried to choke out the SmackDown Women's Champion. Of course, Bayley. Yeah, she hightailed it while the NXT Women's Champion was stunned. So yeah, apparently she wants all of the smoke. Next it was a six-man tag team match made earlier on in the night as Roman Reigns, Mustafa Ali, and Shorty G took on Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode. Towards the finish, however, Ali got thrown off the top rope by Dolph Ziggler. Corbin picked him up, hit him with a deep six that had real stank to it. And yeah, Corbin got the victory. Of course, Roman Reigns, with still an air of grievance against, a laundry list of grievance against the King of the Ring, just launched into him with a spear and just, bedlam ensued as Raw and SmackDown, as Raw invaded, where were they at? Chicago? Yeah, they were in Chicago. Yeah, as the Raw troops invaded, of course, led by Seth Rollins. The SmackDown locker room provided support, and Triple H, being Triple H, rolls into the Allstate Arena with relatively the same battle wagon they tried to invade WCW with. But instead of the whole DX crew, it was just Triple H, Shawn, and Road Dogg. Which, yay, Road Dogg's there. Of course, Team NXT stood tall as they head into Sunday. So that is 3 Count Super on Friday Night SmackDown, aka the last show before TakeOver War Games and Survivor Series. Oof. So yeah, glad I got those out of the way finally. So you know how this goes. If you miss Rod's opinions but not his stupid ugly face, he has a podcast, Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime, on the Castbox app. Go check it out. That being said, I'm the face of the 3 Count Mafia, and I'll see you guys next time.